everyone. So been on the road for a couple weeks now and realized that I'm carrying way too much stuff. So I mentioned I've been going through the process of eliminating things through, like, I read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, trying to go minimalist, but I'm also trying to find that balance between being minimal and having a disposable kind of life. So I want to get down to as minimal essentials as possible, but without having to go places, buy things, dispose of them. So this is what I'm down to here. So I'm down to these two bags, which doesn't look like a lot, but trust me, it's a pain in the ass to carry, especially when I plan on going hiking through the Himalayas, or not the Himalayas, the Andes and stuff. So anyway, so you can see kind of, so I have my tent. So I'm trying to essentially, I'm going to be camping. So there's going to be some camping gear that I won't be able to get rid of. But I'm going to kind of go through the process that I've been using over the last 6 months to minimalize. So let's get unpacking. So I'm going to start unpacking. I'm not going to film my whole unpacking, but I wanted to kind of talk about the method. So it's from the Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And essentially what they do, what she says, is the first thing to tidying up is actually decluttering and getting rid of things. And the way that she recommends it is, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll go from room to room, or they'll clean up this closet or clean up that closet. And essentially they, you do end up getting rid of things and decluttering that way. But the problem is that you don't get an idea of how much duplication of items you have in your life. So what she recommends is you actually put things together by item. So you start with, say, clothes. You put all the shirts together, you put all the pants together, you put all of the belts together, and you look at the pile, which I'm going to show you the pile that this unpacks into, and it gives you a really big idea of how much stuff you have, because a lot of the times what we do when we organize, we take things and we pack them into a drawer or into a box, and we put that box in the closet, and then we fill that closet, and that stuff just sits there and it piles up, and we forget that we even own it. So, rather than going through the process of like unpacking and finding it, we end up just going and buying a new one. So this method is really good at kind of taking an inventory of everything you have, so that you never have to buy new things. It's like, I have this one thing, and I only need this one thing, and I use that thing until it's kind of through its life, which is hopefully years, and then you replace it. Anyway, so I'm gonna just kind of unpack, and I'll cut to everything after. Okay, so I just want to show you an example of what I was talking about in terms of how much we can like store things in random places. So this is my toiletry kit, and yes, I'm unpacking my dirty laundry. So I'm airing my dirty laundry, as it were. But what you can see is that, we find these neat little organizer things, and it's like, oh, everything's together. But what ends up happening is the amount of stuff or shit that you end up acquiring that you don't actually need in your life. So, like, look, and like 2 razors, like 2 of these, probably more, 2 hand sanitizers, and you end up with so much stuff like this nail kit, lip balm, and these things. And as you unpack and unpack, you realize, look, here's another thing I didn't even see. As you unpack and unpack, you realize how much stuff you end up owning and how much stuff you have, and it just keeps going. It's never ending. So I just wanted to kind of demonstrate how many things we have hiding around the house, and how much, how much things we bring into the world that need to end up being landfilled. And so it's about trying to find that balance of, how do I bring less things into my life, and thus less things into the world. And this is actually kind of making me want to cry. Anyway, so I just wanted to kind of demonstrate that, and I'm still not even done unpacking the toiletries. But yeah, anyway, I'll continue to unpack. Okay, so I've just finished unpacking, my toiletries. So this is empty now. And this is kind of a dilemma. Like, this is just a good example. So look, like I didn't even realize I had 3 nail clippers, 4 of these, 3 toothpastes, and then even, like a nail cleaning set. So this is, but the thing is that's tough is, as a person who doesn't want to like create landfill, it's difficult because this is usable, right? And I don't want to just throw it out and waste it. So like these I can donate, and these can have a second life. But what this is really making me realize is that we have to really focus on not bringing new things into our life, and really like taking an inventory of everything we have in our life and not bringing new things into our life until we've kind of used them. And I guess also trying to get rid of things that are disposable. And anyway, my heart is breaking right now as an environmentalist, but yeah. All right, back to unpacking. Much stuff. One guy. Okay, so I've taken everything out. So I guess the process is very much start with making a mess. But the reason that I find this is an important part of the process to just kind of throw things out is it gives you an idea of how much shit and how much stuff you own. Gives you an idea of how much stuff you own. So yeah, so the next step is to start gathering things together and start organizing them. So it'll be, shirts with shirts and electronics. Like I have a random, this is a solar panel with, like my tablet, and put these things together. And you want to, as best as you can, actually break it down to the most fundamental duplications. So even like I said, like nail clippers. So, you don't just put all the toiletries together. You break out the toiletries into shaving, and then you put pens together. And that really helps with your first kind of declutter, because it helps you see the duplication you have in your life. So, yeah. Anyway, I will start organizing. So, might be pausing here, but I was just talking about my burner stuff. So these kind of are sentimental mementos that I'm carrying from with me, and I put them all together in one spot as what I coined my burner stuff. But the person that Juliana, she made a good point that, to do the process properly, I have to break it up into my shirt goes with my shirt. It doesn't matter that it has sentimental value. So yeah, and I'm a little shaking right now because it's because these things have so much sentimental value. So it's going to be interesting what I end up deciding at the end of the process of what ends up being like. These are 2 buffs here. Do I keep one? So anyway, and then 3 hats here. Anyway, back to fast forward. This one I think I'm going to carry with me. It's my friend Callum. He died this year. I like to bring these with me to a special place somewhere, and either bring them to a temple and burn them. It's a good way of kind of letting go, and anyway. another quick pause here. When I say you got to go through everything, I mean everything. I have a first aid kit within a first aid kit. You don't just take this and be like, oh, first aid kit, and then put it somewhere else. You got to open it up, take a look inside, and see what's duplicated and how much you really, really need. Okay, I'm done. So now time to let the parsing through everything begin. So the way they recommend in the book is you start with things that are less personal. So, you know, bungee cords will be easy, toiletries will be pretty easy, and then you get more towards the mementos. So you essentially just start by anything that's a duplication. Pick the best one and go from there. So here are some of the decisions that you have to make. I like to camp a lot, and I like to camp with people. So, you know, I always had these extra knives and fork sets. But I'm gonna make a new rule. If you're gonna go camping with me, bring your own freaking cutlery, okay? Oh, hey. Okay, so I'm down to this. I've purged this away, which, you know, is, if you look at it, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's probably like another 30% of my things. So it's actually quite a bit compared, if you compare it to the total amount of things I own now. But one of the things that I remember feeling really guilty about through the process, and Juliana made a good point, is I felt guilty that I was creating a lot of, like, not a lot of landfill, but there were some things I had to dispose of, like the toiletries and the floss and stuff, and I felt really bad. And I think Juliana said something important. Don't feel guilty, feel of it as a learning opportunity so that you will not continue that habit in the rest of your life. So yes, I've done, like, my previous habits have created a lot of waste. But from this exercise, I have discovered that, and I will not continue to carry that through for the rest of my life, hopefully. And so over the course of my lifetime, I'm probably actually going to reduce, like, this will help me reduce the amount of waste I create in my lifetime. So anyway, yeah, so that's it. I'm going to pack it up and do probably one last thing while I'm walking down the road, and see you on the road. I'm in DC now. Sorry I didn't get to finish the video earlier. Watching these people behind me do some fun selfies with the DC monument. Anyway, so yes, I finished the job, the packing, and I'm down to, I've still got a lot of stuff, so I'm probably gonna have to do another thing. But I think the big thing I want to share is that you know, it's not about being like the ultra minimalist. It's not about you know, getting rid of things. Like, that's not the point. The point is the process of evaluating the things that you have, and decluttering and continually getting rid of things and not bringing things, like items, into your life that are going to clutter things up, and also being very aware of the things that you bring in. So anyway, on that thought, I might just do some kind of B-roll of Washington at the end or something, because I'm like, I want to go to that spot with Forrest Gump, so I'm going to do that too. Bye. Don't want to die. Here we go. Check it out, fam jam. Oh, thank you. Just lost my hat. right there. Wait, there. That's our kid. Let's go. Get together, and I think we got a good closing. That's all I have to say about